Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for getting into the game a little bit late, but of course we're into our next set of games. We just had Navi Junior take the series 2-0 over TKA, but now they have a new opposition in front of them already. Of course, my name is Yumi. I'll be joining you and bringing you through the action as we see how Navi Junior take on their opponents in Aalborg Rebels. Of course, we start our map and our matchup on train. I will be the AA Rebels to start things out on the T side of things, and given how well Navi Junior played in the previous set of games, this is already a pretty compounding start for the Aalborg Rebels. A couple of early kills, and well, and the anti-eco, they have no trouble whatsoever getting things done. A nice 3-0 start to get this first map rolling, as this is not something that we get to see Navi Junior on too often. I know it is a map that they're not incredibly comfortable on, but given that they've got that prolific AWP presence that we saw in their previous matchup, now that they've got these rifles in hand, we can imagine that some turmoil will go the way of the Aalborg Rebels. See if they're able to deal with it, though. Some early pressure towards the brown holes. And Gospadarov is just waiting for any sort of pressure outside. So far, a pretty slow default for the Aalborg Rebels. The smoke by Maccen could cause some issues. Gospadarov is going to be caught between two mines as to which side he has to cover, but his teammate is at least there to help and support. His backside is covered, and Gospadarov just has to hit what's in front of him. Zyphon down. And well, the Aalborg Rebels have been pretty trumped on this push towards outside. They tried to divert the attentions each and every way, but now it just has to be Maccen and Prime to bring things back. Just the flaring towards Hell and outside of Pop Dog, but Prime now has it all to do. Still 4 more players to find. The bomb dropped in a compromising position. Gonna try something around the smoke here, sitting inside of it, waiting for this to fade. Topa is really up close, so it's gonna be hard to adjust. And well, actually Prime comes out ahead. Thought for sure that was a duel he was likely to lose from the get-go, but he's being teased by the information that Navi Junior are presenting to him, and Gospadarov with a missed shot. Aunkere can move on in for the kill. So the first round for Navi Junior, as soon as they get themselves onto rifles. Aalborg Rebels don't actually have the most amount of money built up, of course, with that being treated as a bit of a bonus round. Although they had primarily rifles, they can reinvest into this one, but they've broken bank, and so if Navi Junior can compound this into a couple of wins in a row, then we could very well see an equal scoreline at the end of things. Trap between Molotovs. Prime just trying to sneak his way out Olaf. Getting a ton of information as of yet, but nobody peeking on the Navi Junior side. This flashbang timing is perfect, but Bit's able to turn just in the nick of it. Aunkere as well as chimed on his. Gospadarov with another, and well, Aalborg Rebels had hoped to see a little bit more success with these earlier duels. Zyphon's at least able to claw one back. A second one is good as well. He knows where Topa's located, and this bait and switch setup may just have worked out. Topa clears things off, and Navi Junior keep 3 alive, but will lose the AWP of Gospadarov, which actually is a bit of an issue, given that the only person that can reinvest into it is Bit. So it'll draw the money pretty far down on the Navi Junior side. But at the very least, for them, they don't have to worry about any rifles coming out for Aalborg Rebels. Good to see that we're seeing Aalborg Rebels get aggressive early on into this matchup. Of course, with Navi Junior just coming off of the previous series, Aalborg Rebels had to fight through their own best of 3 as well. But we were waiting for the TKA and Navi Junior game to finish before getting underway. And well, given that it's back-to-back, just applying that pressure early on shows that they are not intimidated, and they're wanting to make it through this open qualifier as fast as possible. Those that are interested in that Aalborg Rebels series, they did finish it 2-0, I believe, as well. And dealt with their opponents pretty handily. It was Enterprise they fought before dealing with this matchup, but we're straight into round number 6, and again, this aggression. Barry is so up close, and they wouldn't have expected any sort of a buy at all. Really, the Force catching the Navi Junior players off guard to start things off. A nice early kill with the SMG, but nothing further as of yet. Bit doing a lot of work to keep his team composed and in prime position. And he's still hungry for more. He hears a position being taken by these Aalborg Rebel players, and he may just well have the timing on the flank. The first is found, and he pushes further forward for a fourth. Navi Junior having a great performance from Bit in that round. Given that fast pressure that they initially faced, he adapts and overcomes the pressure that Aalborg Rebels put out. Now we should get to see finally a real eco round from Aalborg. The T side have looked to remain with some level of initiative, but often just playing into the predictable nature of the economy can move against you. But oh, Zyphon, he had an opportunity. The eagle shots will not land, however. It could have very easily taken out that AWP presence. But no, Topa tapping one down. While Aalborg Rebels haven't really found any picks to strain the economy of the CT side as of yet. There's at least one. Barrett the Deagle will hit his mark. Best case scenario in rounds like this is that you can find an isolated duel, recover a rifle, try and compound the damage using that medium. And, well, actually, a pretty rough fight for Bit. Maccen, just with the Glock, dealing substantial damage. Certainly softens him up, which means Barry will move into the same position. Hope to capitalize on that damage. Doesn't need a headshot, just a singular tag with this Deagle. Even clipping the wall would be enough. But Bit wants nothing to do with it. He'd gladly save that AK over if he were given the option. And so he's letting his teammates deal with it instead. And deal with it they shall. Kapacho, no sweat. But now Aalborg Rebels can reinvest. We haven't really seen any plays towards the inner side of the site as of yet. The B-bomb site remains fairly unscathed and untouched. So now that the rifle commitment comes back through for the T side, you maybe look to see if they can draw a bit more attention that direction so that they don't have so much pressure mounting and early rotations from the Navi Junior side ready for them to hit this A site. But kapacho is making things a little bit more difficult. Already showing that he's quite close and using the Molotovs. Navi Junior in the same vein are not afraid to take these fights early on. Had kapacho gone down there as well, it would have meant a bit of turmoil would be thrown into Navi Junior's direction. He was the only player towards the B side of things, and so they wouldn't have been able to get there in time to prevent Aalborg Rebels from charging on out. Still a slow default for the Aalborg Rebels. The bomb dropped in a fairly open position. I don't think Bit's quite seen it, even with his push in towards T main. But if he finds this duel, that could spell disaster for the rest of the T side. Kapacho, one frag over towards B, a lurking presence from Zyphon identified, but Barry slipped in towards the back lanes. They have to know that that's a possibility. Aunkere was smoked off. He might not have been able to spot them out, but Bit could cause a whole lot of issues. Bomb dropped. The secondary kill is oh so more important, and the bomb cannot make its way anywhere near the bomb site. They can't even get to this package to establish the plant, even if they wanted to. And while Topa has the cross, Aalborg Rebels get shut down by the early positional advantage that Navi Junior are able to find as a result of that slow default coming in from the T side. Good stuff from Navi Junior thus far. Definitely seen more success from their CT sides overall, but hold the phone. That's one smoke over towards Sandwich. They found an AK to work with. Ivy's met with some pressure as well. Topa, a good spray down to keep them competitive in this, and even the tag damage on Barry. Maccen, oh, he just barely spots the shadow. Barry's been dealt with, but Maccen's in the same position. They're just waiting to try and find the timing, and Topa will find it around the back of him. Those were still isolated duels, so certainly winnable for Maccen. Unfortunately, not quite close enough. Again, given the damage done with just the pistols, that's a good round from Aalborg. Means that Navi Junior won't sit on a pretty cushion for all of the half, but as these rounds compound, Aalborg Rebels can do better to find these opening picks, and find them they shall. They've gotten a kill over towards Ivy, over towards Brown Holes as well, so the map's still very much open. There's no predictability as to where the Rebels will lie. If Topa can lock down ladder, he alleviates a lot of pressure towards A. Just sitting in the smoke a bit. They just don't expect it. A quick trade by Aalborg. Well, this is a bit of a risky move from Topa, but they are far detached from any of the action and any conceivable spot to hold this A bomb site. And, well, given their positions, you'd expect that they would simply save these weapons over. Even with them having a lot of money built up on Gospadarov as well. As we talked about the damage in the previous round, it means that they're thinking about the longer game here. A 2 versus 4 retake is certainly doable, but not something that is feasible in terms of its consistency. Well, given that the T-side are also looking to establish their economy, they won't hunt for these weapons. So good news for Navi Junior, they don't have to reinvest in the AWP. Those early duels from the T side just show that Aalborg Rebels have come to play. Topa, once again, over towards ladder room. You will hear this early presence towards Brown Holes. A little bit of a shift here from Navi Junior. Deep smoke Ivy. Showing a bit more pressure than they've felt in other rounds. Aalborg have been able to get into position to throw the left or right side lurk smokes respectively. Pretty scot-free. Now, how do they react now that Navi have shown a bit of their hand early on? Topa pushing forward. Zyphon's dealt with him. There's nobody there to trade for the CT side either, so a very isolated duel, just hoping to get Topa into position. One that might have not been expected by the Aalborg Rebels. The flash on through, but Prime is prepared for the bob above ladder. And again, these early picks from Aalborg Rebels are compounding out of control. Gospadarov able to get one in response. The secondary is faster than the last, but now it comes down to kapacho. Has to pressure the bomb, has to push on forward, and although he gets one, Barry there for the trade. A very close round and some great shots being hit from Navi Junior to stay competitive, but Aalborg just hold on to that advantage by a slither. Getting to see more great stuff from Gospadarov. Doing a lot of work with that AWP, and kapacho once again just pressuring Brown Holes. He's the solo B player to go in with this much confidence and looking to take these duels so early. is certainly a great thing to see and allows these Navi players to basically forget about the B bomb site for a significant portion of time. The problem has been these picks towards A. They gotten 1 kill earlier on Aunkere. Or Aunkere. The fact that they get the response means that Navi can't be too comfortable as of yet. Neither team looking to really push the boundaries as of yet. Good identification from the Aalborg Rebels. Look at where they're positioned over towards Ivy. There's a gap in the defensive, and Aunkere does get there in just the nick of time, but the boost could certainly catch him out, but he spots the head. The little Bob. He'd seen just a pixel, but he hits and adjusts in time. And another kill by Topa found elsewhere. Gospadarov has them as they push on out. That's the bomb spotted and dropped. And Mazi not looking too good, my friend, for any sort of damage to be found as they all swarmed around him. Navi Juniors separate once again by 2 rounds. Yeah, somebody in the chat earlier criticizing Aunkere. That was a pretty crisp shot. Well, this time around, Navi won't have that pressure towards the brown holes early on. Kapacho playing a little further back. Of course, still able to spot for information, so the smoke will go. It looks like they're going to utilize Barry's P250 just to try and get a bit of information, try and line up the trade frag with these rifles. Maccen has to be careful because Gospadarov has had the hot hand. The reaction times from him, at least in the early stages of this game, have been on point. Well, he was their only A-sided pressure, so this may just prompt the execution from Aalborg. They'll push on through. Aunkere is here to work in tandem with Kapacho. Around the sidewalk, they'll go in a 1-for-1 exchange. In fact, one done better by Aalborg as they get an established control of this bomb site. Topa never really had the chance to support his team. That smoke causing a whole lot of issues, and they're not quite done yet. They're pushing further and further forward. This may be their undoing. Prime, for now, has gone unspotted, but Bit is prepared for the peak. Now it's just on to Zyphon. Same position, same bit, slightly different angle, and he's looking for the isolated duels, but he can't hit the shots. Navi Junior, a successful retake of this B bomb site, something that has been less explored by the Aalborg Rebels as a whole this half. And maybe we get to see why. All 3 players that remained in the retake stay alive for Navi Junior. I won't pretend to know where Manesi is. It's, these 2 teams are ones that I've certainly heard of and seen before, but I'm not copiously familiar with. Okay, good early pick. Maccen the trade frag and trying to keep control of Ivy, but loses the duel through the smoke. Doesn't seem like they're going to get anything going here on the Aalborg Rebels. Prime dealt with in the same manner as his teammates. And 4 stay up for the CT side. Close to double digits. Now only 1 round left to play in the half. Aalborg Rebels look to at least get that 6th one. But it's going to be a scrappy buy to try and get it done. They've been doing a good job of getting a player out through T-Main and into either Old Hell or Olaf. Barry will do that once again, actually pushing through the Molotov. Took so much damage to go for that, but Zyphon is there to make sure that Bit doesn't push him from behind. Aunkere smoked off. They're collapsing on this bomb site so rapidly, and Navi Junior are not prepared. Kapacho can't adjust in time. It's the scrappy buy that sees so much success. Aunkere trying his best to claw back a bit of a numbers advantage, and there's a quick trade right back, but they still hold on to the majority. Gospadarov, AK in hand, now pushing further and further forward around the smoke. Zyphon will be there to prevent his teammate from falling, and the half will end 9-6. A very fast-paced round from Aalborg Rebels, but one that pays off in dividends as they only have a 3-round discrepancy moving into that CT side. It had been about 4 to 5 rounds in a row in which Aalborg hadn't gone quickly. Just the last round at the end of the half that takes a bit of courage to go for. But it certainly worked. Navi Junior now on the pistol round on their T side. They've got the utility to execute towards the B side of things. Of course, some of the utility will fly over at A just to try and keep these CTs guessing. That early information that Mazi was able to spot out does push him further back. Gospadarov trying to draw attention over at A. The rotation from the Z player has been successful, and Navi Junior set their sights on the A bomb site instead. Barry above the smoke. First kill is good, able to fall back without falling victim to the trade from Bit. They cannot prevent this plant, but they have the kit, they have the smoke as well. Navi Junior as well haven't been able to get into great post plants to deal with this. Maccen around the smoke. There's the first kill. The secondary, it's tougher to deal with. Bit has gone huge. 3 kills in rapid succession. Of course, that kit and smoke still in the possession of Barry. He can deploy it, cause a whole lot of issues. Trying to navigate his way over to this bomb. And Topa, he just has to line it up. Try and land the shot, but he's not gonna be... Oh, it's so close. It was just an inch away from getting defused, but Barry unable to get it done. It's the knife from Topa. I thought Barry had it for sure, but Navi Junior get to double digits as a result of the pistol. It's not a pretty one by any means. Navi can buy into this, and you can see just how close that round was. Aalborg Rebels forced right into this. Scouts out for Mazi, but Prime's been spammed through the floor. Actually walking into it to start things off. That first bullet might have been enough to deter some players, but he just hoped that it wouldn't have continued. Well, Barry will try his luck. Hope he doesn't meet the same fate as his compatriot. Navi are slowly congregating towards the B side of the map. They're easy to pull off a stack towards the A side of things. In fact, most teams will go in that direction. They're hitting the more weakened site. Maccen for now not cleared, but will get fully peeked by Bit, who had that phenomenal pistol round, just making sure that his teammates don't get caught off guard and this bomb can get planted safely. The flank is covered as well, so no real surprises should be coming their way. And given that they'd invested into armor and pistols, just hoping that they can get away with those, and if Barry could get a kill, maybe find a rifle as well, it can certainly go a long way. Well, we won't get to see any action. No rifle recovered by Barry. Neither his teammate in Zyphon, and well, I'd quite be interested to see if we get to see a bit more of a gimmicky stack. Quite often you'll see some teams go for a stack towards Old Bomb, where they'll set up in a pyramid formation. You see it on Inferno as well, over at B. Nothing out of the ordinary really for Aalborg, but outside of Berry opening things up with the Deagle. Early pressure towards Ladder. Berry still looking for more, but able to trade things out. Topa keeping their eyes and attention elsewhere. And well, they have the bomb site. The rotationary angle's cut off. Navi Junior can get this planted rather swiftly. Covering for the boost. Kapacho spots out the head, but unable to land the shots. In fact, he goes straight for it. Hunting them down, making sure they can't escape. It will cost him his life, but he knows exactly where Prime is, so Gospadarov has an easier time. Double the score now for Navi Junior. But maybe things begin to shift now. Mazi has the AWP. No scoped rifles for Navi Junior to contest these long-range angles either, so they have a weapons advantage and a good positional one at that as well. Zyphon pushing in through teammate. He did make a step while moving forward, so they will back off. Just make sure that if Navi were set up in the white holes, they couldn't have got that information to play off of. While Mazi will miss that first shot. He's able to fall back successfully. The Navi Junior know now that the AWP is on field. They saw that it was positioned over at Ivy's. I think I can hear this rotation away from the A site. It does still mean that Ladder is a bit of concern, but Prime is in position. And well, here they come over towards B. Maccen just trying to remain elusive on this bomb site. Hope he doesn't get wrapped from any particular position, but the smokes allow Topa to do exactly that. Shot in the back of the head before anybody else really progressed out from the T side, and they're just continuing to find picks around the map. Topa up close and personal over at Z, but Prime really can't progress much further. Look how low these CT players are. This angle is oh so spammable. Aunkere able to get the first, the second as well on the weakened opponents. And well, Navi Junior are poised to take this map in a pretty convincing fashion. Shot from Gospadarov is good to start things off. Went for the pick based off the spawns and catches them before they can progress further than he could see. It is only the Eagles. They can certainly deal damage to the economy. We saw it from Aalborg's T side. Just how well they did in finding some of those frags. The Navi are not falling victim to the same strategies. Out towards B they will go. Simple flash, no smokes this time around, no full execute so that these pistols can't close the gap and maybe pull off a surprising play. But Maccen gets one over towards A ramp. Berry as well with another there, making things interesting here on the Aalborg side. Only one player actually committed to the bomb site, but the bomb still not recovered and cannot be planted as of yet. Well, with Maccen going down now, that can be recovered. Berry pushing forward and Bits prepared, just waiting for the peak. Mazi, the whole lot to do. 21 HP to his name. A singular bullet should do it, but the jiggle peaks so far keeping him alive for a little longer, but Bit hunts him down. 3 HP remaining on him, and Navi Junior within touching distance. Just a couple more rounds. Aalborg Rebels need to get something going here on the CT side. They were so aggressive on their T side of things. They were making sure that Navi Junior never felt comfortable, but the same can be said and is being done to them. As Navi Junior expect themselves to be this overdog in the matchup and are willing to take these fights. Bit has been phenomenal thus far. First kill in. Berry able to trade things back with an acrobatic finish. remain equal numbers until Mazi finds another. Things looking good for Aalborg. They keep a nice advantage. They have this presence towards upper as well from Maccen. How prepared are they for this peep? Maccen, oh no, gets caught looking the wrong direction. He gave up the angle just before they crept on out. That couldn't have gone worse for him individually to try and get things done. And Topa will be able to get so much ground towards CT, but Barry at least denies it. Now a man up here on the retake in Prime. He hears this player coming. Kapacho from the back lines. He's cut him off. Gospadarov has a whole lot to do. 3 different angles, 3 different players to find here on the AWP. He knows the back could be pressured and he falls into the loving arms of Prime. They have the kit to play with and defuse. And well, Aalborg Rebels, a term that Jay got to use in the previous game for TKA, a survival round for Aalborg. They need more like it. Able to establish an early advantage and hold on to it. That's really what saw success in their T-sided half as well. They often got close to winning things back in, say, 2vx's, but always fell short at the final hurdle. While the default plays out for Navi Junior. No real differences in the setup for the Aalborg side. We saw them explore the idea of pressure towards T main as well, that they haven't since gone back to. Smokes on over at A. There's presence towards Ivy as well, so they're just hoping that these team main players divert the attention for long enough. First player's out. First shots missed. Zyphon there with the first. Second as well. Prime pushing closer and around the edge of the smoke, able to get the drop on the Navi Junior side as they emerge from team main, but Gospadarov for now has not progressed. Still holding in at his position and hoping to maybe save this weapon into the following round. This is an insurmountable task. The bomb is very exposed, not easily recoverable, and so just if you can bring this AWP forward, they can muster together another buy off the back of it. Spotted out. They are looking to hunt this player down. He's able to round the corner as well before Barry could lay eyes on him, and he should be scot-free. A good compounding round for the CTs. Getting a bit more money under their belt. Should they concede the following one, they will have enough in the tank to buy right back into things. And Navi Junior will not lay off. AK is back on field. Gospadarov still retaining that AWP from the previous round. Gospadarov taking a lot of damage early on. They may not know that Maccen's here. They had a player kind of spotting from white holes for a cross, but this could potentially go uncleared. Bit does go in for the peak. Maccen able to adjust in time, so a nice early duel one, but it does seem like he's been able to get away from that angle as well. He's still tempting fate a bit, trying to make sure that if they do try and track him down, that it is as uncomfortable as possible. Does also mean that Navi Junior need to fully clear out upper, which they have done so. And Maccen takes another angle. Mazi here with the shoulder peek in. Topa tagged through the wall. Second shot is good from Mazi. The third as well. Found 2 kills as they emerged out upper, and well, this may very well deter Navi Junior from pursuing this much further, but they can't even save all too safely. Prime is here to cut them off. Gospadarov holding the long angle, and Aunkere will line up as well for the spray from Prime. Perfectly shut out and contained towards B. Aalborg have now successfully gotten 3 in a row. As you guys have been seeing this dynamic prize pool thing above your screens, if you do go over to hellcase.com, you can purchase the Hell Cup 8 Pro case. That contributes to the prize pool and makes things a little bit more supportive for the players, as well as gives you a chance for some really nice skins. You can even use SLTV 15 for 50% extra on your balance. It's actually not as clear-cut as a round as I thought it was going to be, especially with kapacho hitting shots like this with the AK. Him recovering this and getting into great positions. Navi Junior could very well win a miracle round if kapacho plays this one right. So for now, the 2 CT side players are separated, not been spotted out. He's weaseling his way away from their sight lines, and they start to become very paranoid as to where he's gone. E-box fully cleared out. They suspect he may have gone B, but Maccen checks his behind, keeps things readily afloat for Aalborg Rebels. And they get up to double digits. They are closing this gap. Now 4 in a row after what was 5 to start off this half from Navi Junior. Maccen taking a book out of kapacho. He got so much pressure early on, but wasn't quite able to get things done. Wait, just at the end of the kill feed, I think we saw a collateral from Mazi over at A as well. A lot of damage done by Aalborg to start off this round, but Gospadarov went unchecked. He crept his way out B and found a refrag onto Berry. He's keeping a lot of attention over towards this B bomb site, but these players have gotten out. Gospadarov for now is none the wiser. Should anybody go to clear oil train? Gospadarov, oh no, he's let them all pass. He's found one more, but he jumps up high. He finds another. Does he know where Prime's located? Descending, Prime not hitting the shots. Eventually, he'll shut him down. That could have very easily fallen into Gospadarov's hands, but Prime just barely keeps them over the line. Aalborg, once again, continue on this spree, answering with 5 of their own. Highlighted bit earlier on for having a great game. Gospadarov is right there with him. A far more rounded effort, it feels like, from Aalborg. Everybody has to be contributing from that side. Definitely coming into this, people would have been looking at them as the underdogs in this matchup. Well, we've certainly seen some evidence as to why Aalborg are no slouches. They're not letting things get away from them too heavily. They're closing this gap and making things interesting. Berry in with the USP, the AWP switch out as well, just a style. While Navi Junior have now afforded up another buy, Aalborg Rebels have all the momentum. We haven't seen too much in terms of aggression from the CT side, outside of maybe a couple plays in towards the brown holes. Maccen will in fact go for another play exactly like that, and Bick gets taken down. Mazi as well will have an opportunity at an early pick. The flash will deter him from the angle, and Gospadarov has taken it up. They both spot each other out, actually, jumping from the dumpsters, and he's prepared for the boost. Mazi, easy shot to hit. Kapacho would have had to deal with the inaccuracy, and this double up setup has been paying off dividends for this Aalborg side. Navi Junior don't really know how to approach this one. They've been falling so consistently to these early picks from Aalborg. Especially now that they've gotten the ball rolling. He said this wasn't a incredibly comfortable map for Navi. This was actually picked by Aalborg. And you expect with teams that aren't as familiar or don't go into this picking these maps, that the T side poses a whole different set of hurdles and challenges. Nope, 20 seconds left and the bomb's still sitting towards the white holes. Aalborg are pretty sure it's going to be a save call from Navi Junior. Just about how many players go down after the fact, as they've built up quite a lot of cash on the CT side. Counter-terrorists win. (14-13). At one point or another, it was 14-6. And now they found 7 in a row. Of course, what I was saying earlier, the SLTV 15 code can be used for a refill bonus. And you can help support the tournament and the players by buying into the Hell Cup 8 case, or Pro Cup case. Oh, let's see if they can get it done with rifles now. They pull together a scrappy buy, and they overwhelm the players moving out. Gospadarov even taking down the rotating player from Connector. That smoke seemed to cover him well enough, but Gospadarov is in a world of his own, hitting shot after shot. Barry's finally able to deal with him. This bomb got planted so rapidly over towards B that Aalborg don't really have the great positions, and they still have some really good utility to play off of in the post-plant bit. Trying to track Barry down, will succeed in doing so, recovers the AWP, and Kapacho seals it in. After a long run of rounds from Aalborg, it's a rush towards B that finally gets Navi Junior to round number 15. And just after I'd been seeing their praises too. These faster plays from both sides on their T-side portion have seen a lot of success. Not allowing for the run-of-the-motions Molotovs and smokes. We'll just have to see if Navi Junior have found the missing link. The secret recipe to getting more rounds on this T side, or whether Aalborg will continue in good stride. Because they still have that double up setup that's been causing a lot of issues for Navi Junior as a whole this half. Given that there's been no pressure elsewhere on the map, they begin to set up for a stack towards B. There's 3 players in position. They've given up Ivy control as well. Barry's close to making this rotation over. In fact, just locking things down over towards A. He's setting up outside of that Z connector. The Zyphon suddenly left alone as a result of Maccen going down. And although the AWP is here from Maccen, he doesn't get an opportunity to find anybody. Topa dealt with. The bomb planter's gone. And now they're just waiting for reinforcements, and Aalborg are falling like flies on these rotations. Aunkere as well tries to get a chance, but Gospadarov pulls it away from him. Mazi with 3 more players to find, and Gospadarov above him. He's just going for the ninja defuse. He's hoping he goes unchecked, but this time it won't. Navi Junior pull away with a 16-13 win on the first map to start things off. Of course, there are more maps to come. Oh, sorry, that is not me. As you can see, the words and everything didn't quite line up. We have a second map coming up in Dust 2 for Navi Junior. We'd seen them play earlier on today, and it was some pretty high impact stuff from, guess who do you expect? Gospadarov himself, as well as Bit. Well, we're going to be throwing it over to a short break as we prepare ourselves for that secondary map. Some great stuff from Aalborg Rebels to make it competitive and to make sure they didn't go down without a fight. But we'll see if they are able to bring it to a 3-map series or whether they'll fall 2-0 to Navi Junior. We'll have to see after just a short break. Don't go anywhere.